All right, welcome everybody to the October 10th business meeting. Can I have a motion to call the meeting to order?
So moved.
So moved, Linda. Second, Maria. All in favor?
Aye.
And may I please have a motion to move into executive session to discuss pending litigation? So moved, Shanna.
In a second.
Linda. All in favor?
Aye.
We will be back at 6 o'clock. All right. Welcome back. Can I please have a motion to move out of executive session and move into public session, please?
So moved.
So moved. Linda, second. Maria, all in favor? Aye. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda? So moved. Charlie, second. Shanna, all in favor? Aye. All right. We have our liaisons.
Hello. I hope everyone enjoyed the long weekend. And with it, I'm sure many Titans did a lot of preparing because today marks the first day of Spirit Week.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Many students dressed up in their Titan gear and also brought their not-a-bag bags like surfboards, toy cars, grocery carts, and a dirt bike. It was fun to walk through the halls and see everyone's school spirit. Our themes for this year include class color, seasons, movies, and of course Titan Day. Throughout the week, students will have many choices to win points through buying tickets for the homecoming dance, showing their best sportsmanship during the pep rally and homecoming, and as well as being on time to class. That being said, I hope that each student, especially the seniors, enjoy this week and all the fun it brings. In the humanities department, Mrs. Stahl and Mrs. Koravu, humanities students, read about Plato and the importance of planting seeds for a better society. So their classes got to work with the UPK students to truly see what seeds are being planted through their favorite books. It was a fruitful time, and students enjoyed working with the young leaders. Next up, the Seal Up by Literacy meeting will be Wednesday, October 17th, for students who are proficient in one or more languages. Students will have the opportunity to create their own project and present it in their chosen language in hopes of getting the seal. If interested, please contact a world language teacher. The Titan Service Scholars recently took the whole freshman class to the Eden Gardens to learn about the importance of community gardens and how they help in food-deserted neighborhoods in the city of Rochester. Students were able to work along with community members to clear out the space, revamp the garden beds, and winterize for the cold days up ahead. We hope to go back soon. Do you know a student interested in the construction industry? If so, there will be interactive construction field an interactive construction field trip on October 19th. Spots are limited and permission slips will be available in the counseling center. Speaking of the counseling center, the College Fair for Rochester area colleges and universities was hosted this past week in the media center and was a hit. Shout out to all the students who participated, and continue to check your Naviance account for further events hosted by the counseling center. Next, the Varsity Unified Bowling Team is looking for more members. If interested, please contact Mr. Bertram. On to sports. The girls' cross-country team beat Brighton and Penfield, but fell a little short of victor. The Titans finished the regular season with a 7-4 record. The boys' Titan cross-country team ended its regular season with wins over Brighton, Penfield, and Victor at Harris Whalen to finish with a 10-1 record. The girls' tennis team played in sectionals this week. The girls beat Spencerport and lost to Penfield this week, ending their run in team sectionals. The boys' soccer team lost to a tough Churchville team Monday evening from 4-1. The girls' soccer team beat Rush Ranietta Tuesday evening 7-0. Field hockey traveled to Fairport Monday evening and pulled off a big 2-1 win to remain undefeated. The team came back even better on Wednesday against Penfield. They then won 3-0. The girls' volleyball team is hosting Henrietta Thursday night. The game time will be at 6:30. And then for boys' volleyball, traveled to Pavilion last night and came away with 3-set victories to move their record 9-2. Webster boys volleyball traveled to Brighton and came away with a 3-set victory to move their record to 10-2. The boys traveled number 1 in New York State. Fairport is today. For the girls swim and dive team, the Lakers beat Penfield. And then with football, the team traveled to Irondequoit last Thursday to take on the Eagles, but sadly lost 24-6. Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure, as you know, I'm Roman Bikova, and with me is Tristan Bauer on time today. And we've come to share the good news of what's happening at Schrader.
2 weeks ago, our Schrader Warriors kicked off homecoming week. Starting with Friday, we had our traditional Jersey Day. Students showed up their support with their favorite national teams. I am very proud to announce most students were wearing Bills gear. That Friday, we faced our crosstown rival, Thomas. At a football game, our great Warriors had an amazing performance with a final score of 47 compared to the Titans' 7.
Monday, in honor of Jimmy Buffett, and in conjugate with the Schrader Food Service, we had our own cheeseburgers in paradise. Of course, our paradise was in the cafeteria. Students enjoyed a laid-back vibe of wearing their Hawaiian shirts and flip-flops.
Tuesday, we had a country versus country club theme, where students from all over the school dressed up. Students put on their finest khakis, hoped to get a par in every class that day, and celebrate with a good old-fashioned yeehaw.
Wednesday was our class color theme, where freshmen wore teal, sophomores wore pink, juniors wore blue, and seniors wore white. Nearly every student at the school participated in this day. After school's classes got to decorate their respective hallway in all sorts of themes. Our seniors had the best theme of all, of course, that being our Barbie Land theme. We had a Mattel Barbie and Ken box and even a putting green.
On Thursday, we dressed up according to their hallway theme. That night, Student Council held the homecoming dance with a glow-in-the-dark and outdoor theme. Students rocked it out in the courtyard. We had a record-setting 345 tickets sold, significantly higher to previous years. And, of course, there was Friday. Friday, students showed their school pride wearing our school colors, blue and gold. And at the end of the day, we had an amazing pep rally with massive student participation, where grades competed with other grades in various fun games that students volunteered to compete in, such as myself.
Our seniors had the greatest senior run-in of all time. Student Jack Baker and Nick Solito dressed up as our homecoming rivals and were thrown into a fake table on the crash pad by Anthony DeRosa and Ethan Vasquez as the class of 2024 ran in. We would like to thank all our teachers and student class advisors and our student council members for their hard work in making such an amazing homecoming week this year.
In other news, our geotech team, led by Mr. Milliman, has built a new sandbox pit in the courtyard for our little warriors, the pre-K students. The kids will now be able to enjoy the sand and express their creative minds, building castles, digging trenches, and making roads for their toy cars. The space is a place where they can explore, experiment, and have fun in the outdoors.
In the music department, our marching band has taken first place in the current New York State standing, even beating out mega bands from the city. This weekend, the marching band goes down to the state of Maryland for the USA Band Show, where the marching band will face other bands from Virginia, Massachusetts, and other northeastern states to see who can take the crown.
Mr. Friedor led a competition between his earth science classes for who could bring the most food items to donate to the elementary school backpack programs and the Webster food pantries. His students brought over 480 items. We are happy to see our fellow warriors' generosity and a contribution to our community.
Members of the board, as we conclude our news about the home of the Warriors, we want to express our heartfelt gratitude to all of you for your time and attention and support. Tristan and I are glad to be able to share the insights and the moments of Schrader and for everyone to know the lasting impacts it will have on our community. Let us remember the importance of unity in our community and our schools as we are one Webster. Thank you for making our journeys at these meetings continue to be enthusiastic and purposeful.
Thank you, guys.
Good job, guys. Thank you.
together, Lauren and I. I love when we get up here again. And humanity meets UPK. Andy wants me to wait and read. Waiting is not easy. It really is good. I read it this morning. It was amazing. I sent out an email, and within 2 minutes, Carolyn Stahl and Nikki Corvo had sent back. They were just so excited, as well as the UPK. It's really neat. I knew when the psychology students went over at Schrader and did some things in the developmental aspect of it and connected it firsthand. It was pretty cool, but then now it's at Thomas too, so they get to do more. So that's wonderful, as well as all the elementaries that I know of. All right, hello.
Hi, Jen.
I love following them. Our elementary buildings, Mr. Dioguardi is now introducing multiple staff. He is highlighting staff on his morning show, their morning show at the elementary buildings. So kids not only get to know the teachers that they see in their hallway or their surroundings, but they get to notice other people who are in the building and what their roles are, because everybody's role is important. Our middle schools continue to connect that science of reading and learning, and they are grasping people from the elementary schools as well as the high school and having those collaborative conversations of where kids fall with the reading, with learning, and with moving. High school, our WTA member, Dana Simmons, took on an enormous task. She went out and found different ways to bond when you're in a building that hosts over 150 staff members, 200 staff members. All are included. She thought, okay, it'll be cool, people will dress in their color. Everyone dressed in their color. And the competition is on, and it's like Spirit Week once a month, and the kids are involved more than we are, and we're the ones dressed in our colors. Section 5, as Lauren has mentioned, not only do we have the unified bowling and basketball, but we have now moved into esports, and hopefully that is going to be just as successful as girls football was this year, and continues to be. They wear their gear proud on Titan Tuesday. Our exec board changes, there are a few. Wendy Sardella, who has done the Oak Tree for years and years, has now moved into being our chair for our women's committee. It's going to be an awesome role for her as she brings in new things there. One of the most proudest moments, I think, in our women's committee is when they did a maternity handbook and worked very closely with people at district office, people in the schools, and people all around that it impacts, because it does. It impacts everybody. Our Oak Tree now is Jennifer Gunneman, works at the elementary. Our PTSA, it's just woven. It's just between WTA Cares. We took one day of TTT and we're making donations for our Lutheran Emmanuel Church, and now has turned into not only do the donations go and just as many needed donations, but on Friday, there was enough food for all 4 secondary pantries, and 2 of them are really in the startup stages. There's more work being done outside by WTA members to connect families to FoodLink and vouchers and getting fresh fruits and vegetables that are near them. So that's going to be coming in November, hopefully, that news and vouchers. WTA Cares, Craig Johnville has done an amazing job. We know what's on his books. You quite don't yet, I don't think, for November. But what is going on in October, every weekend there is something with the PTSA and the donations, the coat drive, the concert gear, the coats and mittens that need to be available to our kids and our families. Pack with Zach. I want to bring him one day. He's just, I think he's junior is here, sitting in this seat right before me. He's always finding ways to get us connected as a WTA and staying connected, not only on our local level, but on our regional level. And we've been recognized on the state level as well, which I thought was a norm, and it's not. It's just our norm in Webster. Our president makes sure that our newbies, our new people to the career of education, no matter how old they are people who are new to Webster, are people who are new to being reps, and our people who are 3 to 5 years moving possibly into retirement are going to be informed, going to have the right information to make. Not this year. So on that, I will conclude and let you know I will see you tomorrow. We know it's an important day. We thank you for your message. We thank you for your support, and we wish you all health and happiness.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much,
Joan.
Do you want me to leave this with you?
Campus news.
Campus news. All right, I'm going to ask two guests to come on up and join me, and as I'm beginning, I'll let them find their seats there. Thank you, Dr. Callahan and Mr. Schichtel. But I'd like to begin my report tonight with a celebration of a group of people making a difference in our community. Your Webster CSD Board of Education. Next week, the New York State School Boards Association formally recognizes school board members and their service to all students, families, and staff members, and we would like to take a moment to join in that recognition. Webster CSD's 7 board members are true champions of public education. They spend countless volunteer hours throughout the year dedicated to supporting everyone in our district, and we are thankful for the work that you do individually and together as our Board of Education. And I know I speak on behalf of all of us that we are sincerely grateful, and we owe you a debt of gratitude for all the time and effort that you put in. So to recognize them, President Janice Richardson, Vice President Linda Dioguardi, Shanna LaDelfa, Charlie Roods, Maria Cortes, and unable to join us here tonight, but Carole Barnabas and Jennifer Birdsong-Ng. How about a round of applause for our Board of Education? Thank you guys very much. I want to continue my report with another huge thank you. I might get choked up on this one too. And congratulations to our district clerk, Cindy Cushman. This is Cindy's last board meeting, as she will be retiring at the end of this month after 11 years of service as district clerk and assistant to the superintendent. If you've ever had the pleasure of working with Cindy, you know she is a consummate professional, and under her watchful eye, every detail is considered. Truly, she handles every task with excellence. She seems to think of everything all the time for me. And most importantly, she always has a smile to share and a willingness to help others at all times and in every way possible. Most importantly, she's a dear friend. And while we will all miss her at board meetings and up at district office, we know how happy she will be spending time with her family, including those grandkids. Please join me in thanking Cindy for being such an extraordinary member of our One Webster team. Cindy, we wish you the very, very best in your next chapter of retirement, and I want you to know how much we love you. All right. Next up is part of our regular campus news. It's exciting now. We're going to hear from Mr. Mark Schichtel, our principal at DeWitt Road Elementary School, and also Dr. Chris Callahan, who is our administrator at the Owl Middle School level, and also soon to be our new middle school principal here at Spry. So I think we start with Mark, or I think we'll start with Mark.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you tonight. It is a thrill to be up here and be a part of your group and be able to present on behalf of the 7 elementary schools, 8 elementary schools, including our OWL program. So thank you so much. This news report, this report follows hot on the trails of the opportunity that I know the board had to be able to come over and visit DeWitt Road School. And we are so very, very proud of our school and school community, and thank you so much for spending the time with us. It was a great day. Some of that will come through in the conversation we have today. So today we have a report, and it's our October report. And really what I want to kind of come back to is what we appreciate about the board is the direction that we get each and every year, the direction of the board and district goals, and thinking about what it is that really is at the heart of the learning and the work we do here at DeWitt and within our school and our school community and within Webster schools. And we focus on that board goal that you set, really thinking about how we share our story. This is an opportunity to share our story, and it's really an important one. We don't have too many opportunities on TV to really get out there and show the story of the work that our people do. So thank you for that direction, because that's exactly what we want to do. And as we think about that, how do we show perseverance through this report, that always learning attitude, joyfully engaged? I promise you, you're going to see joyfully engaged as we talk about that, and then the collaboration that goes on each and every day. Those are our targets for our conversation today, and that's really what we go after every day when we think about coming into our school. I want to start off with a fun run. What an event. What an amazing event across the district. It's been going on, I have a number here. How many years? Anyone know?
Higher.
Higher. 53, higher. This is like the Wheel of, or the Price is Right? 57 years. This is the 57th annual running of the Fun Run. And you know, you think about what it is to be as a school community. It is a well-organized event. We come in, the kids are already set, ready to go. I got to congratulate all the people who put this event together, because you walk in and everyone seems to know where they're going, what they're doing, and when they're going, and it's all done so seamlessly. It's a great event, but what you see a lot of in that opportunity together is the smiles, the excitement, and it's all about health and fitness. So it's an opportunity for children to get out and get and run. And when we think about our goal board of promoting physical, social, and emotional and mental health, this day fills all those buckets when you see the smiles on the faces, the perseverance our children went through. I want to give you I'll share a story of a student who was new to our school, brand new, and the day before the event came to my office and said, Mr. Schichtel, I don't think I want to go tomorrow. And I asked her, well, why don't you want to go? I don't want to go because I don't feel like I can run. I don't feel like I can do this. I don't think I can make it through this event, and I'm afraid that I might have to walk for some of it. And I said, that is okay. That is an opportunity for you to grow and continue to make it through that course. You can do this. We'll be there right by your side. You can do this. We'll support you through it. So I got the opportunity to be at this event and watch our students and watch all 7 buildings and all the kids come in. And she came through across the finish line, and her teacher was there at the finish line, and they gave an embrace that was so touching, so wonderful, and it was a happy moment, and it was a moment where a child was able to prove to herself that she could do something that she didn't think she could do, and she had the support and the willingness of her teacher. And it creates that opportunity for our teachers and our students to bond, and our students to bond with each other. And the pictures you see, they're all smiles and happiness. And there's one more story that I know we all saw. It is in that center picture, and it's a student from State Road who did an amazing job. And I got to be honest, I was near the end of the day, and I was like, okay, I need to get back to the school. And I was about to walk away, and all of a sudden I hear this clapping, and I hear this cheering, and I don't know what it is. And they were celebrating a young lady who was coming across the finish line. The whole 7 schools, every person. Mr. Neenan, you were right there beside her, walking along the way. Mrs. Land, you were there too, walking right beside her as she crossed the finish line. It was touching, so touching, and it was so inspirational to know that every child, no matter where they placed in that race, they were celebrated, they were congratulated. It was amazing. So it was a great day, and by the way, we had amazing weather. You couldn't beat the weather we had that day. Outstanding. But all our physical education teachers who were in those events and running alongside, and the many different heats they set up so that everybody had a chance, everybody could run. It was a great event. So thank you to all that worked so hard for that, and that was a great event. It's a great district-wide event. Now, interestingly enough, the next day we come back and we have what we call our DeWitt Dash, which is an organized celebration of our school, and it's actually a PTSA fundraiser. It's something that we set up to fundraise for our PTSA organization. Our PTSA organization, I have to celebrate it. In every school, the PTSA has such a vital role to the development and running of our schools because they provide so much for our children and our schools. Examples from our PTSA, they'll be setting up a trunk or treat in a few weeks. We'll have the trunk or treat. We have book fairs, school carnivals. DeWitt Gives Back. We have the 5th grade breakfast. There's so many little things. The backpack they provide for families. They do so much that they provide. And this is one of the events we've set up for fundraising for that organization. Look at the smiles on those faces. It becomes so much more to our school than just a fundraiser. It is a school community organization where our parents can come in and they can celebrate alongside the children and be a part of the fun. Now, they're doing conga lines there because we do all different types of fun things. What it is really is they are running, again, the next day our 4th graders, goodness, they ran 2 days in a row, and they ran with vitality, more vitality than anything I could ever imagine. But they enjoyed that day where they do a lot more than just running. They skip, they hug, they have fun, and they really just celebrate time with their teachers, with their classmates as a school community. And the families, we fill up DeWitt Road with our families, and they come in and cheer them on. And you can see in that next slide, there we go. It went backwards. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. There we go. You can see it's go time. We had a great opportunity, but kids come out with their flags, they cheer them on, and they enjoy that day. And look at the enjoyment, not only by the children, but the staff. It's a community event. So these are the types of events that really celebrate that, and they bring in funds for our community that provide our PTSA the ability to do the things they do to outreach for our students. And the final point to that is what happened at the end. So if we reach our goal, we actually offered the opportunity that Mr. Peterson and I, who is in the audience with us today, would have to do something for them. And what did they choose? They chose us to be on the roof. So we spent a morning on the roof, and you can see us here today. We actually did our morning show from the roof. We were able to talk to the children, and they asked us questions like, what was our favorite food? How high is it up there? How did we get up there? We had a lot of different stories about how we got on our roof. That was the best part. But you know what that day was about? It was about a celebration of what they did, but also a way for them to celebrate together at a school. And those are the memories. My principal was up on the roof. Those are the memories children bring home and they remember and bring back with them because it brings them, it bonds them together. So that was a really great day. And when we came down, they're like, why did you come down? I thought you were sleeping overnight there. No, we're not sleeping overnight. So it was a great day, and it was a great opportunity to work together. One of those pieces within our community that I want to highlight and share our story about is our DeWitt Road community, and specifically an area of our building that we've dedicated to the 3 12-on-1 classes that we have at our school. I want to celebrate the many people who came together around this spot in our building to make it perfect for our children. Our building and grounds program, when we came together last year and said, we're going to put this program in this area of our building and we're going to move these classes there, we brought our minds together and think about what do they need. They added a office in that area. They added area for those kids. They changed the lighting. They did a lot of different adjustments to that area just to make it available for those students and for the resources that we were going to need. We added a sensory room to that area. So many things had to happen to make it work for those students, and they did. Our building grounds, I want to celebrate them because they came together, put their minds together, and made it work for those students and for that organization. And now we have a healthy, wonderful community in that spot where students have the resources they need to be successful. And you could see the smiles on these faces and the many, many staff members that come together in our support of those students. It was a great organizational effect, so I want to celebrate that. And then the special ed community that worked together to make the many, many people that had to work in those day-to-day operations make that happen. The professional development that goes on in our 12-on-1 program and all those people that make that run. I want to celebrate that in our building because it's an amazing community and it's exactly what those students need. That's Webster One. That is an amazing thing for our school and for our community. So thank you for all those people. That is a great story of what we do each and every day. And it's the organization, the many people that had to come together to make that happen for them. And as a celebration of that, this is a good example of a student new to our school. One of the things that program does is they try to teach real-world skills for our students and opportunities for them to do it. So one of the things they do is they do actually a coffee club where you can order coffee through them. They learn making change. They learn taking orders. They learn supply and demand. They talk about delivery. They talk about communication skills. And this young man was actually coming to my room, and he was actually delivering me coffee, and he was telling me what I was ordering, how I was going to get it, and he said, thank you for the coffee. So he was actually communicating back and forth. So it's a process, coming to the door, that eye-to-eye contact, that personal communication. It's a good example of the skills that are being provided for children in that program, and one of the examples of one of the things they do. I love this opportunity to talk about our leadership, because this leadership, student leadership, celebrates somebody who is so critical to our role and our environments, and that's our custodian. It was just recently National Custodian Day, if we didn't know, and that was an opportunity. They created that banner for them, and I want to tell you that our custodians within our buildings are such a vital role each and every day. The flexibility that they provide each and every day to make sure and manage our buildings is amazing, and we wanted to celebrate that, and the Clem South program took the time to really celebrate what they did. Schlegel Ukrainian Club. This is a really neat thing that actually, this is a response of a collaboration between buildings. This is a collaboration between Schlegel Road and Clem North. Clem North started a program where students could come together and they could speak within their home language with each other. Think about the welcoming opportunity to be able to feel like home in a place that is not necessarily home. And that opportunity was then transmitted over to Schlegel, which copied that program, and it has that going on in their building as well. So it's another good example of that welcoming, affirming environment, respecting the dignity of those students, and offering the opportunity to enjoy each other's company in an environment that feels a little bit more like home for them. It's awesome. We wanted to welcome Alex Akers, a new OWL community member. He is going to be our OWL administrator. I want to get his background, make sure I have this right. Mr. Akers is our new OWL administrator. He most recently served as assistant principal and data coordinator in the Honeoye Central School District. Prior to Mr. Akers' time at Honeoye Central Schools, he was also at Greece Central Schools as a behavior intervention and extended school year administrator. Welcome, Mr. Akers, to Webster. And then finally, I wanted to talk about this writing project. Now, you've heard about the science of reading. Have you ever wondered, what about the writing piece to that? Where does that come from? Well, our building and buildings across the Webster District are really focused on the Writing Revolution, which is a program that really coordinates how students can really grow their writing, extend the writing, and make it more rich. So this is an example. Now, these are two students in our school. They were working on a project where they were going to extend a STEM sentence. DeWitt Road School is a wonderful place to learn. And then to extend it, it's with, because, and so. So because, but, and so. What is it that makes that a great school? So this got their minds thinking about reasons they would support the claim that DeWitt Road is a wonderful place to learn. And you can see Dior and Dahlia wrote amazing information around our school and what they really loved, and what they loved about their school, and what they loved about the things they're doing in their school. This is a single paragraph outline from the Writing Revolution book, using the STEM sentence as our topic sentence. After that, they inserted a topic sentence, and they wrote a closing sentence with subordinating conjunctions. The students then typed a draft. After that, they edited it and expanded on their details with their knowledge of conjunctions. Students then shared their sentence and detail, and they were most proud to inspire others' writing. And I got to be honest with you, I got a booklet one morning that was sitting on my desk, and it had all these wonderful writing pieces about why students love our school. You can't ask for a better way to start a day. And that is our report from the elementary
Thanks,
school.
Mark.
Thank you.
Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Schichtel. Nice to see the DeWitt Dash is still going on. Reminds me of my Panda days. This is going to be the secondary dash, so do this short and sweet. So good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to share about the secondary campus update. My name is Chris Callahan. I'm currently the program director of OWL Middle. Starting with middle school, Willingham OWL had the opportunity to host the board for a learning walk last week. We toured learning spaces and heard from student leaders from the morning show, student clubs, and pictured our OWL tour guides. I go to the next one. OWL Middle, we just wrapped up our first program trip to Camp Arrowhead. This included rope climbs, a creek walk, and team building activities. Lastly, the OWL Middle staff made strides towards board goal number 1. We unpacked our September diagnostic assessments as a cross-curricular team. and are continuing those conversations to work on aligning instruction with the emerging needs of our students. So Spry Middle School. Spry spent the month continuing to make progress towards their second goal of strengthening connections as a community of learners by focusing on building relationships. They spent some time during staff development really focusing on aligning their PLC goals with the building goals, with the board goals, all while focusing on belonging and continuing to build those connections. Spry and Willink have both also launched an RTI writing lab, which is based on student assessment data, and in turn is also helping to make progress towards the goal number 1 of improving student proficiency. And now to the high schools. Owl High just wrapped up their first program trip to Wickham Farms. They enjoyed a very sunny day of picking apples, eating fried cakes, and connecting as a program. Owl High is currently engaging student interest in extracurricular clubs at Thomas, which is one of their goals. So far, they have 6 students that have joined a club. They have 2 students that are playing a sport, and they are looking forward to continuing to grow on those efforts. Goal recently celebrated principals recognition. They cooked baklava in art class. They supported classmates at football games and ended the month celebrating Spirit Week in style. Goal also took a trip to Seneca Park Zoo with some friends from Cherry Ridge. The students escorted the residents around and they enjoyed lunch together. If you go to the next, see in the top right picture there is some of our students with the residents from Cherry Ridge.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
You can go to the next one. Schrader had an awesome homecoming week with lots of student and staff spirit. Mrs. Bailey's math class is pictured here enjoying the opportunity connecting with our UPK learners by blowing bubbles outside. What's better than that? Also pictured is an environmental class learning during a recent visit to the fish hatchery. And Thomas High School also had a great homecoming week in pep rally on the turf. And if you click to the next slide, the best picture is Mr. Weedor getting pied right in the face. If you look also on the screen, you'll see that the library was very busy at Thomas High School. They're busy hosting UPK and humanities classes together, where we had some students reading a UPK learner's favorite book. And then they also had area colleges and universities come and host a college fair right in the Library Media Center. So a very busy month in secondary schools. Thank you very much.
Thank you both very much, gentlemen. And I'm almost done here. I'll just got 2 more little things here. But next, I wanted to share that on Friday, we launched our second One Webster Minute of the school year. And for those of you that may not know, this is a video series our district shares with families in the community throughout the year. The brief videos highlight the amazing people and programs of Webster Central School District, and they will be shared on social media platforms, also through Parent Square and on our YouTube channel, which can be accessed through our website. And hope everybody takes a chance to check that out. And last, but certainly not least, as a reminder, I sent them. Maybe some of you got the voicemail and the text and the email about our capital improvement project, Building Our Future. The vote is tomorrow, and it is at Schrader's Gymnasium from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. The project was detailed during many of our board meetings, community forums, PTSA meetings, and a newsletter and postcards were also mailed out to our residents. If you need any further information, you can go to websterschools.org/capital project. And that ends my report for the night. But the last thing was please exercise your right to vote tomorrow. But thank you very much.
Moving on to our technology report.
Hey, Bill. Hey, TJ. Thank you both for joining us.
I can start tonight.
Yeah.
By introducing Bill. Ottman, who is our Science and Tech Director here in Webster. While Bill could talk probably for 3 days about the Science and Tech programs, we're going to give you a quick overview of the Technology Department tonight. He brought one of our esteemed tech teachers with him that he'll introduce in a moment, and has a graduate who's going to share a message with us in his report as well. So thanks, Bill, for being here.
Thank you again for allowing me to talk a few minutes about the Technology Department. Our mission, I supervise both the science and technology departments, so it's about 60 secondary teachers, and then the elementary is science. So it's important for us to have a clear mission and vision. So for our technology program, it's really for kids to explore different careers, have the knowledge and skills necessary to be competitive in college and getting a technical degree, and the foundation to be employable at local, regional, and global levels. That's our mission statement for our department. When you sit here and you think about the technology department, I'm inviting you to think about what comes to mind. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to make you go around and share, but most people think of the information technology department. They think about computers. That's really not what I'm talking about. We're talking about our 8th through 12th grade technology department that actually has in it, so it's not information tech, but we have wood, we have metal shop. It's that kind of that traditional shop type of stuff, but it's kind of evolved now. So we have computer programs, and we do a lot more. We have an engineering pathway, and I'm going to talk all about that in the next 10 minutes, okay? So we're going to take a deep dive at what the Webster Technology Department really is all about, and then we're going to come back to this question at the end and see how your image of what that is has shifted as a result of learning more about the technology department. So we start at 8th grade. Every 8th grader takes technology. And on the right-hand side, there are some of the things that they do, the super clip, the drags, they're all fun stuff. So they take a full year, and there's 3 different modules. So the students, the year is divided up into 3 parts. One's in the computer lab, where they learn some different, like Autodesk Inventor and how to manipulate images using Adobe. And then they get into the physical technology using bandsaws and sanders and learn safety in the tech classroom, and they make these projects. And then we have the biotech energy, where they make windmills, and they just decide how many blades to put on the windmill, and then they test to see how much electricity it generates. It's really cool stuff. But that's our foundation. Here's some pictures of some of our middle schoolers. You can see the drag cars on the right. So they make those from a piece of wood, and they drill the whole axles, and then the keychains that they design using Inventor, and then they print them out on a 3D printer. So it's the foundation for our program is in 8th grade. So when you get to the high school, now there's 5 different pathways that our students can engage in, and they can do any courses they want, but we organize them into some pathways. So we have architecture, engineering, visual communications, manufacturing, and automotive. So as your idea of what technology is evolving here is a lot. So we have 18 different classes in the program. So these are the 5 different pathways. I don't expect you to be able to read that, but I'm going to show you, I'm just going to go through those 5 pathways pretty quickly. But really the foundation is for our kids to think critically, to problem solve, those essential skills, using tools, and exposure to different career options. It's not to have them go right out into industry. It's really for them to explore, see what they like, what they kind of gravitate to, and in a nice, safe environment. So our architecture pathway, our foundation classes, they do design and drawing for production. That's a freshman typically level class. CAD, which is commercial grade software. So kids coming out of that class could probably go out and do an apprenticeship program. And architecture, which you've taught all of these classes, I think. We're going to give TJ a minute here to talk about some of the programs he's involved with, but I think he's taught all of these. And then we have our video visual communications, we have photography, where they actually learn how to manipulate images. And during COVID, they used a lot of their phones and learned how to take good pictures with their phones. Graphics, where they actually design a T-shirt logo, and then they actually manufacture T-shirts. So it's kind of a manufacturing and design course mixed together. And then multimedia is a video production. Automotive, have you seen the new Thomas Automotive Wing? We have consumer auto service and repair, and then transportation systems, where they learn about all different types of transportation. And you can see the picture of the plane there. So sometimes students actually get to go up in a plane and experience flight. I know Mr. Neenan and participated in that, and they get to fly over both high schools, and it's really pretty cool. And then this one is the engineering pathway. So these are dual credit classes with our IT, and this is one of the ones I'm highlighting a little bit because we really want to get those students that are thinking about going to four-year colleges, engineering, to come in and take these classes. So in computer integrated manufacturing, they can use an actual CNC mill to make parts, to manufacture parts out of metal. Principles of engineering, they use Vex Robotics, pictured in the right there. And then they also have their engineers' notebooks where they actually draw and design everything that they ultimately build. And then we have our manufacturing applied technologies, which is crystalline science, polymer science, and electricity and electronics. And there's a sample, it's an ice scraper where they actually heat the plastic, mold the plastic, sand, and then they make the handle out of wood. So it's using a lot of different skills to produce that. So just to recap, the top are the 5 pathways, and the courses above the white line are the foundation classes for those pathways, and then the electives are the ones below that. So just for you, I pulled the numbers just for this year, so you can see the enrollment of students in each one of those 5 pathways. So for example, architecture has 228 students taking the DDP, CAD, and architecture courses over at Schrader, and then 234 at Thomas. So it's those 3 classes, the 3 foundation classes are the total for those numbers. So overall, if you add that all up together, just for the tech program, which is an elective program, we have 1,571 students are signed up to take a tech class this year. So obviously some students are taking 2 classes, but it's still a lot of students engaged in our secondary, and this is just high school. This isn't the middle school. Also, 6 of our tech classes out of 18 are dual credit, so students can actually graduate with 9, 12 credits, elective credits for college. We also have the technical endorsement for our manufacturing and pre-engineering pathway, so students can, they take 5 tech classes and pass a approved technical assessment. They can get the credential on their diploma. And something that we're really proud of recently is we've always had our core classes, those 18 classes, but we've really been working to evolve and try to be more inclusive and bringing more students into our tech program. So I'm going to share a couple of examples of that. If you can see the picture on the right there, that gentleman right there is Mr. Milliman, and he's going to talk a little bit about 2 of these programs. So you can see that there's what we've added is opportunities a lot for our special ed population to really engage in tools and learn how to use them safely. We also have programs at the middle school and high school, OWL, and then the geotech program, which we heard about, a sandbox today, right, over at Schrader, which
The great reveal.
which I think you were involved with. So I'm going to turn it over to TJ for a minute, just to tell us about the geotech program and the vocational program you're involved in.
So yes, TJ Milliman, this is year 23 here at Schrader. So yeah, most of the classes I've been part of. This is really more of like our 6th pathway when we think about our those students aren't necessarily counted in our department numbers when those 1,500 numbers, because some of these students are selected to go into these programs, and some of the students are, applying to go into those programs. So the geotech program, both at Schrader and Thomas, we do have a limited number of students to take it, but you get that really vocational feeling of skills that you're going in there. And so those are building from the middle school programs up to the high school, and students that are either want to move into a construction field or are struggling to find the connection between traditional educational programs and industry and what they can, how they can do those. So that, the sandbox was the most recent example at Schrader, where they're calculating volume and material quantities and trying to understand we have to actually physically move 3 tons of sand from one space to another to fill the sandbox. And, how do we come up with a cost analysis, and how would you bill that to a customer? And, what are the problems along the way of doing that? And so that applied portion of that. And that all of our programs are kind of leaning that way. Like Bill alluded to, we're not really information technology, we're more of the applied technology. And so taking the industrial arts of, the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and mixing that in with the current technologies, using the laser engraver to cut out parts that you really can't cut by hand, and then mixing that in. And so without the technology piece, the end product isn't quite as high level. So even moving into our kind of our home skills class, which is our 12-1 program, where our students are able to learn how to mow the lawn, like in the picture there, or put furniture together and interact with other members of the community. We're using those things. We're using electric lawnmowers to be able to do stuff in the courtyards where traditionally gas equipment would be interrupting classes. So, we're able to kind of use those things and manipulate them to do, ways that our students have never had that opportunity before. And so it's connecting those groups to other groups, just like we, our other ones. Our geotech kids are building things for all of the classes to use, or whether it's UPK or the pavilion in the picture there, doing the floor for, cafeteria or for the dance or whatever, that they're going to be using those. Or the morning kids this morning, we had to do the last minute prep to get the sandbox ready to go. So we had to pump up the balls that hold the cover up and put the brackets on the corners. And then, we had to fix a tent that was used for something else. Or, we go over and see different parts of the building and interact with different groups to try to, take their orders for which direction do they want their desk assembled in. And so some of those skills that you might not get at home, for some of these kids, this is their place where they get those skills. And so how we interact with other groups and how we build this program over time, it's a work in progress. And so Bill gets very frustrated with me because I'm always forward thinking. And he's
I told him today, can't we just have a year where you don't have any ideas? Just 1 year.
1 year, yeah. So,
And then he told me another idea he has.
Right, exactly. We got to keep things going. Today was UPK sandbox, and then it was the fire department doing training with fire extinguishers for students, and now we're presenting here. So it's a full day of activities. And tomorrow my students are, looking forward to getting started on, the multi-oc in the morning. They're gonna kind of start building a miniature greenhouse that we can do like a seed starting in, and we're trying to do a no-cost project with found materials. And then, Geotech will start working on their, next set of projects that they're going to be, looking at bookcases for the public library or mud kitchens for the UPK, and starting those, those projects that we can kind of connect to other parts. And then the crystal and polymer, which is back in the other one, that's like more of our traditional, wood shop, metal shop classes. But all of these things are exploratory. This is the opportunity for our students to see what they like and see what they don't like. And so at least they can become informed consumers when they leave us. They may not go into that industry, but at least they'll have an opportunity to say, yeah, I have an understanding of how that works. Their car, or their, any of these things. The idea is that at least have informed consumers, if not a career path.
So in my haste to be efficient I have something that I was going to have Heather hand out to you. These are the middle school tech program. They call them T puzzles, and they're for technology. The T's for technology. Some people think it's for Thomas. It could be if you want to make it that. I'm going to give them to you. I don't want you to attempt them right now because you can take them home, but these 4 wood blocks will make a perfect T. And there's also a carpenter's pencil in there for you. I will say, and I'm going to call him out on it right now, TJ was sitting in the back trying to do the T himself before the board meeting.
It was rough.
And were you successful?
No?
No, he wasn't successful, so I'm just calling him out on that.
I thought you said it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, to finish up on this, we do offer quite a few classes and now 8 alternative programs that we work in partnership with the special ed department. Thank you, Andy, for that partnership. We do this because we have great technology teachers like the one sitting right next to me, who are willing to take on these challenges and do it. So we have 19 full-time technology teachers. I would say we have one of the largest technology departments I know in Monroe County, but it maybe even in the state. These teachers sometimes teach 5 different classes in a year because there's 18 different classes, there's only 6 tech teachers in a building, so. And many teachers do overages to make sure that the students get what they want. A challenge coming up, we're always looking into the future, is how to hire tech teachers. Because how many colleges do you think certify tech teachers in New York State? 2. There's only 2 colleges, and there's about 800 school districts. So you think about, and they're not pumping out a ton of them. So Buff State and Oswego are the only 2 colleges that have technology teachers. So
Buff State doesn't really count.
Buff State, yeah, the program almost went defunct. I have reached out to them, but all of our tech teachers have been from Oswego, and we do go to the tech conference in October to really keep those connections, and we get student teachers from there all the time. Our great resource for hiring tech teachers, Webster. So if you look, we have 6 of our tech teachers graduated from Webster, went to Oswego, and came back to teach as tech teachers here. So, and then Megan, I put Megan on there. She's an earth science teacher, but she took all the tech classes, and she would have been a tech teacher if her college offered it, but now she's an earth science teacher. But at heart, she's a tech teacher. That's her with the flame in
my class.
In your class when you were teaching her. So I have a quick video. This is a graduate, Josh Clem, who went through our technology program, and he wanted to speak a little bit about his experience.
Hello, my name is Josh Clem, graduated Webster Thomas, class of 2004. During my time at Thomas, I took several technology classes such as graphic design, DDP, AutoCAD, photography, and automotive. These classes led me to pursue higher education at SUNY Oswego, where I got a degree in technology education and then became a teacher for the Wayne Central School District. During my time at Wayne, I had also started a company designing and producing apparel for the motorsports industry, which I then went on to pursue solely and is what I still do today. The classes and time I had at Thomas in the technology program were instrumental in both careers, and I definitely could not have achieved what I have thus far without them, and cannot recommend the program highly enough.
So when I reached out to Josh, good, I think I'm not that information tech person, so sometimes I mess this stuff up. He was actually out at Thomas talking with the students in the auto program when I called him to do this video for us. So it was kind of funny that he was already in district. Oh, let's see, how do I get out of this? There we go. So really my message here to anybody who's watching the board meeting tonight, parents, students, the board, is to take the opportunity to take technology classes. when we see students go to U of R or RT on a full ride engineering scholarship, and they didn't take any of our engineering classes, that is a little frustrating, because that idea of what technology is needs to shift a little bit. We do have a full engineering pathway, and we really want all students to take a technology class to experience that. It does help them to be more employable. It's desirable for colleges to see that on their transcripts, and they get to learn life skills. So when we go back to that original slide, I don't know if your idea of what technology education is here in Webster, if there's a shift there. I do put the question out to each one of the board members, what class would you want to take of the 18? When you go back and you're able to look at all the different classes, what ones would you want to take? And it's not easy having a program with bandsaws, table saws, auto lifts, laser engravers, and 3D printers, CNC mills. It really is a challenge.
And a water jet.
And he wants to get a water jet. We don't even have that. It's the first time he's mentioned it. So I want to thank the Board of Education, Superintendent Neenan, and all the district leadership, buildings and grounds, the IT department, because we have 8 computer labs, so we do use software a lot, and our counselors who help educate the students around what our program is. And Mr. Freeman, who's very helpful. Any questions about our department?
No questions, but I want to tell you how much I appreciate all the different programming, because it's really important that it allows students to explore careers before they go into them. So if they're interested in architecture and they're interested in design, we actually have classes they can go into, and construction, especially with the CAD work with manufacturing, because it's definitely been more and more difficult to get employees into the manufacturing. So the fact that they can get that experience now and decide, is this something I want to go into or not, I think is huge for kids. It gives them years, and not everyone is also bound for college. There's so many different pathways to success, and I love that we have a wide breadth of those courses so that kids can find themselves there is such a wide breadth of that if it's not here, they can try something else. So even, I love seeing kids try those intro to engineering classes, because I would have never had that opportunity when I was younger. That was not, we had wood shop, and, we built a magazine holder, which kids don't even understand anymore. And so having that wide breadth so that kids can explore and see what they're interested in, the automotive lab is it's so impressive. So I really appreciate that you're constantly thinking of new ideas. I think it's fantastic. Keep it up. Keep bringing new things up, because that's what the kids need. So I really appreciate the program, and I love seeing the kids through Webster go through it and have the opportunities to do these things. So thank you.
Thank you. And we do offer all the classes in both schools. That's been a conscious effort to make sure that all kids have the same opportunity in both schools.
Tech's been huge, helping, because it gives back to their community, it gives back to the kids, it teaches them skills they need to know. Now it's like the thing that comes up constantly. Well, could geotech help with this? Or we want to build, a community garden at one of the elementary schools. Could geotech help with that? So it's fantastic to even have opportunities for both the kids to benefit from that. Yeah. Thank you.
I want to piggyback on something Shanna said. I think I had the pleasure of going to the sandbox reveal this morning, and while we all watched the tiniest learners get so excited about the sand and so upset that they couldn't touch it because it was raining, the part that struck me most was the geotech students were so proud that they built something that their community of learners could use. And we see that time and time again in all of the structures that are throughout the community, our school community. So for that, I'm very grateful. So thank you.
Good. All right, with that, can I have a motion to approve the instructional report as presented? So moved. Shanna, second. Linda, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job, TJ and Bill. Thank you guys very much.
Good luck with the T puzzle.
We'll let you know next week.
Yeah, I know it.
All right, on the board business, and the first thing is the July treasurer's report.
Yep, first up, July Treasurer's Report for this fiscal year. July could be a very boring month in the fiscal calendar for the school district. Not a lot happens during the month of July for the district. Just highlighted a couple things in the report for you. School lunch is shut down, not a lot of federal grants going on, so not a lot of activity across our books.
Questions for Brian? No? Okay. With that, can I have a motion to approve the July treasurer's report as presented? So moved. Charlie, second. Maria, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay. Approval of extracurricular account.
Yep, next up is a charter that has been completed by Thomas High School for a new extra classroom fundraising account charter. It is my pleasure to recommend for this to be created for the BBSU. They've crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, and so with your approval, we'll get them started with an extracurricular account.
Questions? Oh, sorry. Is that a motion? Can I have a motion to approve the extracurricular account? Maria, second. Linda, all in favor? Aye. Okay, intermunicipal agreement.
Yes, so this is the agreement between the town of Webster and Webster Central School District for the school district to turn over roughly a little bit more than half an acre of land at 1610 Bolter Industrial Park. We'll turn that over to the town so they can continue on and put the road, Bolter Industrial Parkway, to connect it from Salt Road to Basket Road. So it's kind of a dead spot on our facility. So this is an agreement for us to exchange that for the equal value from the town in-kind services.
Questions? All right. We have to motion this one? Or is this just for?
Nope.
Motion to accept the intermunicipal agreement as presented. So moved. Shanna, second. Charlie, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right, up next is the proposed NYSBA resolutions. Next week, Jen is representing us at the NYSBA business meeting. So are there any questions or comments on the voting delegates guide that we all received about a month ago? Are we good? Okay. So motion to approve the NYSBA approved resolutions as Jen will represent the district. So move. Shanna, second. Maria, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. This is you now. Resolution authorizing partial settlement of the vaping litigation against Altria.
Yeah, and this is just a resolution to accept our share of the payout from the company Altria, which we had already had one. Jewel was the first one that we had already done that one. So this is a separate one for Altria. But this is just the resolution to do that.
Questions? Okay. Motion to approve the resolution authorizing partial settlement of the vaping litigation. So moved. Charlie, second. Linda, all in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, and then the resolution authorizing litigation against social media companies.
Yeah, and this is, excuse me, a recommendation that is coming from our council, much like the vaping resolution, where it would be a lawsuit against some of the social media companies, specifically in regards to the mental health deterioration and mental health effects of addiction, specifically for adolescents. And so there's a lot of research now on that, and so that would be what this one is. And it would be no cost to the district or any of us unless we were to win money. And then it would be a similar situation with the vaping, yep, with the Joe.
Questions? Okay. Motion to approve the resolution authorizing the litigation against the social media companies. So moved. Shanna, second. Charlie, all in favor? Aye. There's two less people to see. All right, on to board member highlights. We get a lot of information and highlights from the students and from WTA, but if there's any other highlights that the board members would like to add, this would be the time. I don't know if anyone wants to start. You good?
On 10/21 at Clem North from 3:30 to 5 will be a trunk or treat celebration in their parking lot.
All right. There'll be a lot of that coming up. Shanna?
No, we had our state road PTSA meeting last night, and so one of the things that some of the parents mentioned that they would love to get some support on is understanding some of the New York State scores. I think scores must have just been sent out to their to students.
The 15th?
Oh, it did.
They went out on the 15th, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so they had some questions and what they were looking for, and they'll go with, it was parents, there was a couple of different parents, so I'm sure they'll go to their school, but I wanted to pass on that they were just looking for some information on, what do those scores mean? How do they look at, how should they look at that information? Because some of it came back and they were like, should I be concerned about this, or is this normal, that type of thing when they're looking at those scores. So I thought I'd pass that on. And then State Road is in the process of trying to put in a Gaga pit. And as we all know, they're very expensive. And so each of the schools have been doing them as they can. We're trying to fundraise for State Road to find a way to be able to, because it's like $12,000 to put in a Gaga pit. And so even with their fundraisers, it's not enough. So we're trying to find ways to help them assist with the fundraising and also maybe installation of that Gaga pit so that the kids there can enjoy it. We saw it at DeWitt, and watching the kids like manage that Gaga pit on their own and have their rules, like they absolutely loved it. So that's some stuff going on right now, along with their trunk or treat. And they're going to have some prizes, some giveaways at the trunk or treat too, so like kids come over and pick like a balloon and it has like different gift cards and things like that for it. So we have some fun stuff coming up for holiday fall. And that's everything.
I just wanted to remind everybody about the winter wear donations, and the actual shopping of it will be October 28th at the Rec Center. We had a great time on our learning walks, looking forward to more. And Red Ribbon Week is 10/23 through the 31st, and the Drug National Take Back Day is on October 28th. So if you have any prescription drugs and you want to get rid of them, you can do that then.
Webster Town Court.
Webster Town Court.
Is that where it is
On the
now?
28th.
Okay, Webster Town Court is where it will be. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do you have anything?
And I just push this here? Oh, okay. So I just want to say I have thoroughly enjoyed the learning walks, and I'm looking forward to many more. It's really exciting to see all that's happening in our school buildings, and the different school buildings, right? Because every building is a little different. And I'm enjoying being the newest member of the board, and I'm learning a lot. So I'm really excited to be here, and thank you all.
Thank you. The only other thing I want to highlight is a few weeks ago, we hosted Assemblyman Brian Mangtolo for a visit. And a lot of the things we talked about tonight, he visited the geotech, the auto shop, the greenhouse with the tilapia farm. He was in complete awe of what we can offer our students. And it was a great partnership. We were able to kind of kick back with him a little bit afterward and have some nice conversations. So it was really good to build a nice relationship with him, and he's very supportive of us. And we had a good chat, I thought.
We did. It was a great visit all around, so.
Yeah.
Yep, agreed.
All right. Next up is the consent agenda. So if everyone's had a chance to read through all of that, are there any questions? All right. With that, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? So moved. Linda? Second. Maria? All in favor? Aye. All right. This brings us to our visitor speaking time tonight. We do have, as per our board policy, we have 4 minutes for each speaker. You'll note that we have the light system set up. When it's yellow, just to let you know, you have 1 minute left. When it's red, your time is up. A reminder that this is a time for the board to listen. This is not a dialogue or an open forum. We're here to listen. We have 7 speakers that we're looking forward to hearing from tonight. Speakers should be civil and refrain from using any staff or student names, as the policy and the code of conduct apply. So with that, you want to start calling up our speakers?
Andrea.
You'll need that microphone right there next. You can just turn it towards you.
Okay, I'm here today to express my extreme concern with the position that the Webster School District has taken in the rollout of allowing biological males into a girls' locker room. The guidance passed by New York State Ed says to create a safe, supportive, and affirming school environment for transgender and gender-expansive students. This board claims that they champion inclusion, and yet you are excluding the feelings of the vast majority of the student body. On September 12th, my daughter notified me that while walking into the locker room for PE, she and her friends felt very uncomfortable to see a biological male in there. Why did you not think to notify families before making this decision? I understand you use FERPA when it's convenient, but it should not trump safety. I applaud this group of girls for being brave enough to go to the administration and express their extreme discomfort with having a boy in their locker room. When I contacted Spry principals to inquire about how the school was going to address this safety matter, Matt Metelsky advised me and the group of girls that they would need to find an area with a curtain or a stall with doors in the girls' locker room. So my daughter and the majority of the girls have to be displaced for this one student. Why should these girls be singled out and segregated? This decision was clearly rolled out too quickly and not thought through. No thought was given on how this could potentially affect others. My daughter, who has already struggled with the school experience, is now exhibiting school avoidance even more. The failure of this board to see that is concerning. I also find it deeply concerning that the administration tried to circumvent parents by calling a meeting with these girls to address their concerns with the representative from Student Services and Inclusivity and not alerting us parents. Unacceptable. If my distraught child did not come to me with this, I would never have known about this meeting. Allowing biological boys in the girls' locker room makes girls uncomfortable. Why is that of no concern? Why is the privacy and safety concerns of these girls so irrelevant? Put aside what this child identifies as. Look at the reality. You're allowing a boy in the girls' locker room. Allowing biological boys in girls' spaces is just dangerous. What is it going to take to remove biological males from ladies' rooms? 1 rape, 2 rapes, multiple rapes? We have already seen this backfire across the country, and many states are banning this practice because of the actions of some of these students in this very situation. Just to name a few examples, in Oklahoma at Edmond Memorial High School, a teen girl was sexually assaulted by a biological male in the girls' bathroom. In Virginia at Loudoun County High School, a teen girl was sexually assaulted by a biological male in a girls' locker room. In Florida, at Johnson Middle School, a teen girl was sexually assaulted by a biological male in a girls' locker room. These are just 3 of 436 cases of sexual assault in schools across the country. Middle school years are hard enough. I remember feeling a little self-conscious about changing in front of my girlfriends at this age. I can't even imagine how I would feel at that age to have to change in front of a boy. In no way, shape, or form do we practice hate in my home or prejudice towards anyone based on their race, religion, or sexual orientation. However, it is a responsibility to allow these kids to experience an innocent childhood where they can develop naturally into mature adulthood. The only safe and fair solution to all of this is to keep the individual girl spaces and boy spaces and to create a gender-neutral space for transgender and gender-expansive students. A space open to anyone that wants to use it, so you aren't singling anyone out and secluding them. But the girls' and boys' spaces should remain safe and private. I demand that this be your solution, as I can't and will not allow my daughter's privacy and safety to be compromised over this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jody Byard.
I'm a bit nervous, sorry. Dear Superintendent Neenan and members of the school board, good evening. My name is Jody. I'm a 97 graduate of Webster, a mom of a 2020 graduate, and I have a current sophomore here at Schrader. In addition to this, I'm the daughter of a retired teacher from the Webster district, and I have currently been an employee for the district for 19 years. I'm here this evening to express my concerns about the presence of the book Gender Queer in our Schroeder High School library. I want it to be known that I unequivocally do not agree with book bans. I firmly believe that the importance of intellectual freedom and providing access to a wide range of perspectives in our school libraries. While I acknowledge the importance of fostering diverse perspectives and encouraging open dialogue, I believe it is essentially critical to evaluate the content available to our students, especially in public school settings. In particular, the book Gender Queer may be portrayed as a coming-of-age story about gender identity. However, this is an inaccurate summary. I believe that its content goes far beyond what is suitable for a school library. When asked, parents and high school students responded with the statements that included, "That's porn, not appropriate for students at all. What is the purpose of having this in school? Disgusting. That isn't in our library, it's porn. I feel like it's illegal to take out this book, and absolutely disgusting and not appropriate in a high school library." Not a single comment was made in support of the book when they saw the contents of some pages that I have included in the packets. I believe it is essential to distinguish between providing resources that promote understanding and respect for diverse identities and providing materials that may contain explicit or inappropriate content. I would like to bring your attention to the fact that Thomas High School and the overwhelming majority of other local public schools in our area do not have this book in their libraries. These schools include Churchville Chi-Li, Fairport, Gates Chi-Li, Hilton, Penfield, Pittsford, Mendon, and Sutherland, Rush Henrietta, Spencerport, Victor, West Irondequoit, Wayne, Wheatland, and Chi-Li. I was unable to access the book database at Eastridge, Greece, Honeyway Falls, or Rochester City School Libraries, so I'm unsure about those districts. Even our own Webster Public Library does not carry this book. The absence of this book in so many educational and community settings raise the question about its suitability for our Schrader Library. As parents and community members, we have the responsibility to ensure that the materials in our school libraries align with the values and belief of our community while respecting the rights of others to access diverse viewpoints. Therefore, I kindly request that the school board conducts a comprehensive review of the book Gender Queer and considers the following. Appropriateness. It is crucial to assess whether the book is suitable within our school community. We must ensure that students have access to appropriate materials while respecting the diversity and perspectives and identities. With this point, I'd like to know if the district has a policy for the books they choose. I could not find one, and I would like the district to consider making one if it doesn't exist. 2, alignment with curriculum. The book alignment with our educational goals and curriculum is essential. We should determine whether Gender Queer serves as a valuable educational resource or primarily as a personal narrative. It is vital to ensure that any material in our libraries contribute to the educational development of our students.
Jody, can you please wrap it up?
Oh, sorry. I believe that a thoughtful and transparent evaluation of the book Gender Queer will allow us to make an informed decision about its presence in our school library, and it's crucial to strike a balance between promoting diversity and ensuring appropriate, respectful, community-aligned content. I'll let you guys decide whether or not it will go back to the library.
Sean Miller.
I'm sure it won't be that long as the last person.
Good evening to all the parents that showed up here tonight. I'm speaking here about the safety in the Webster school system. On September 4th, which was the first day of school at Schrader, the school administration had suspended a student due to something they have found out that was a safety concern. The student at Schrader made a hit list. The school system did not notify the parents until 24 hours later so they could lawyer up. They still could have called the lawyer and notified the parents, which they did not do. And the Webster School Superintendent failed every single parent and the school district. The student in question has a hit list, and also the student's Instagram has pictures on them holding an axe saying they want to murder and they want to execute people. This student has mental issues. The only thing the school system did was suspend the student for 1 week. The Webster School Superintendent and the principal of Schrader High School has failed this community miserably. They have failed to protect our children, and they will fail in the future because they only care about their pay and their jobs, not to protect the students. You, sir, should be ashamed of yourself. Thank you.
Layla.
Hi, I'm Layla. So I was one of the students that Andrea was talking about, and I am in her daughter's gym class. I feel very uncomfortable with the situation that is going on, and I did bring it to the school on September 16th, maybe, around then, and they gave a temporary solution, which was to not let people go into the locker rooms, and they had a principal stand outside for 1 day telling people to go into the back room. Well, after that day, people continued to go into the locker rooms, which means this transgender individual is still in the female locker rooms with the other females. I don't want to have to go to gym being worried about if I have to change or what we're doing that day because I don't feel comfortable going into that room with that biological male. And it's just a lot to worry about since I'm only in 8th grade. And I mean, I haven't even experienced really the real world, and I'm still a kid and I'm still learning things. So I feel like the school tried to do something and it was a temporary fix and nothing permanent has been done, and it's just right back to the way it was. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lauren West.
I didn't want to be here tonight, but I knew there was a risk of the public comment being commandeered by the loud minority of bigots who troll productive spaces. Cowards who vilify kids, demand queer erasure, and call supporters pedophiles. My mission is to support all children, and as the parent of a queer child, I have an additional obligation to disrupt hate. I realize that I am speaking to a group of people who want LGBTQ students to thrive as their authentic selves. I know that I don't have to convince you that gender is not binary and that trans girls are girls. I know that I don't have to rehash the statistics about the increased suicide and self-harm risks of queer youth, the elevated rates of bullying and harassment experienced by LGBTQ kids, or the protective power of affirming adults in their lives. I don't have to convince you that trans athletes deserve to play sports with their identified gender and use the locker rooms of their choice. I don't have to remind you of the New York State Department of Education's recent publication about how to support and protect trans and gender expansive students. You know and believe all of this. My responsibility for tonight is to remind everyone of the people behind the policies and statistics. One consistent tactic of hate groups is to anonymize their target, strip them of their individuality, dignity, and humanity. It is easier to fear a faceless monster in the shadows. It is easier to believe the salacious lies. These children are not monsters. Their supporters are not the boogeyman. My child is in middle school. They are experiencing significant mental health challenges and are currently in district tutoring. This is not because they are queer. This is in large part due to the hostile environment that exists in schools for kids like them. We do not do enough to combat bullying or hate speech, both things my child has endured repeatedly in school, my 12-year-old child. When I have asked them permission to address these situations, they tell me there is no point, nothing will change. All my friends know this, and that is why we do not speak up. This is heartbreaking and a precursor to so much tragedy. Last year, I spoke to an administrator and said that we need a queer-affirming health curriculum immediately. Their response: we have to balance the needs and wants of our community members. That's code for the fear of retaliation from bigots is preventing us from creating a safe and affirming environment. This is unacceptable. Why are we still making decisions in fear? This is literally life and death for these kids and my child. And in many ways, we are dragging our feet. My child will not be vilified, nor will they be erased. What is the district going to do in order to empower adults to do the right thing? Backlash is brutal. I have repeatedly faced it myself. However, I refuse to live in fear. I know that my actions and efforts are helping to protect my child and those like them. Protect trans students. Thank you.
Linda Carter Jessup.
Yeah, I'm impressed with, this is my first board meeting after living here 45 years. So I'm impressed with the information that was given. But tonight I'm here to ask for your help on the board and superintendent. I'd like to get to the authorities at Schrader High School about their sex education. I'd like to know what the content is. And if they include particularly abstinence education. I've had extensive experience myself with implementing, planning abstinence-based sex education in 2 city schools. And this was very beneficial to the students. They welcomed it. The principals welcomed it. It was a wonderful thing to see and experience. I'm a retired nurse practitioner. I have a background in research and teaching, and I want to help in this way with the abstinence content. So how do I meet with the authorities at Schrader High School? I was hoping to get some answers tonight, but I see it's just me presenting, and hopefully I'll get some feedback. Thank you. Anybody want to comment?
Thank you.
David Ruiz.
Good evening. A different topic on the bond. Thank you for reducing the bond. You did listen to what the public said, and thank you for that. Some people are still questioning, though. I believe Fairport had the same problem. They cut theirs in half. I think we cut ours by 1/4, so some people may still question, could we have cut more or not? But again, you did some. Thank you. Some districts might have not done anything. Thank you What I'm not happy about is on Facebook, we've kind of censored any input by eliminating the comment section. I brought this up to the board before. I get it. I mean, I wouldn't want to listen to some of the things some people say or even that I say. You want everything positive if it's possible. Thank you for the community hearings that you did have. But again, not too happy on the Facebook not being able to comment on it. Thank you for having the vote tomorrow, not in December, like last time. I mean, there's seniors that are away, there's the weather, there's parents that are now thinking of the holidays approaching. So thank you for doing that. And hopefully tomorrow we'll see where everything lies. Blessings on the proceeding. May everything go good. And hopefully, we hope you still continue to put out the voting machines tapes that are registered in the morning and at the end, where you put them out for 15 minutes on the table. You've been doing that. That's pretty good. Nobody else does that. As far as the other things, I'm not very well prepared, I'm sorry, but I did look at what the state put out to all the districts on gender expansiveness. It's interesting. It's almost like they want it to expand some of this gender stuff that's going on, and I believe it has. So some of the things that I read is Title IX does say you need to provide private changing space for everybody if they so desire it. I guess some of the girls, the biological girls, don't feel like they have private space. So anyways, Title IX says, according to what I read, we're not, to help somebody else, you're stepping on somebody else's toes. It's a tough thing, and I'm praying for you guys. It's a tough thing. I'm wondering if there's any money in the bond vote to put in private spaces in just the 2 high schools and the 2 middle schools where it's going to be more of a problem. I also read that the schools are to encourage to have open dialogue with school community on this issue, okay, without calling anybody names and things like that. So I think you've done that, but I think that's something that, just to take to heart. New York State is suggesting you listen to everybody. The other thing, it says schools will want to work closely with parents if given permission. Last time I was here, I was told by a teacher that that's not what's kind of being said. It's kind of like the lawyers are saying, just stay out of it, and just if a student brings it up, you can't talk to the parents at all, just leave it alone. That's not what New York State is saying. They're saying absolutely, you should strive to bring in the family, bring in the parents with permission from the child. I disagree. It's kind of saying like the child is the judge of whether a parent should know or not. But I get it, but it's still, that's what the state's saying. But I just encourage you to see what you're doing. Are you telling teachers, stay out of it, it's too much of a headache? Or are you saying, look, if you're the trusted person, they come up to you, yes, you can.
David, please wrap it up.
So, anyways, yeah, that's what I have to say. And again, blessings on tomorrow.
Thank you. All right, next week is our next workshop, which is our only last update. So may I please have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Carole's not here, so moved. Shanna, second. Linda, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.